worst wild, maybe the worst wild magic ever.
Oh man, we came in with some hard chaotic energy tonight.
You told us. You asked for this.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Delve Requisite. Tonight, as you can see, we're here with the crew of the Grimm's Folly, our pirate crew portion of our two-part campaign here on Delve Requisite. Thank you, as always, to Proficiency Bonus for letting us stream here on their channel. And let's knock out our housekeeping, because we have a few extra pieces of housekeeping business to take care of tonight before we start the episode. So, as always, the normal housekeeping business. Thank you to our sponsors here at Proficiency Bonus, Cardboard Castle Games and Little Dragon Corp. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick-and-mortar... I don't usually do them first. Cardboard Castle Games is a brick-and-mortar tabletop RPG store located in the United States in Evans, Georgia. If you're not located in Evans, Georgia, fear not. They have a robust online site where you can purchase all of your gaming needs. So check them out if you need a new board game or some magic cards or... I've definitely made this joke before, but a life-size body pillow of, I don't know, your anime waifu, whatever it is that people do. And you can get a link to their website by typing !CCG in chat at any point during tonight's stream. Little Dragon Corp, of course, produces tabletop RPG polyhedral dice. You can get them.
Whoa, we had some big time rewards coming in chat.
What? Oh, I don't have chat open. Hang on.
A natural 20 for Sela, and a luck
snap.
point as well. Look at that. Happy birthday.
Sela immediately being granted the ability to be a menace during tonight's episode, I'm sure.
Hold on. I didn't need other people to give me anything to be like that. That's my MO every day of the year.
She's got a point.
So thank you to Little Dragon Corp, purveyor of polyhedral dice. You can use our code PROBONUS at checkout to get 10% off of your order with them, and you can get a link to their website by typing !Little Dragon. Follow up housekeeping business special for this week. We have some upcoming stuff right here on Proficiency Bonus's Twitch channel over the next little period of time here for you to keep your eye out for. They are in order of the order that Michael sent them to me in. Number 1, Alien, Destroyer of Worlds, a new Alien RPG summer miniseries begins this Friday, May 13th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That will be live right here on Proficiency Bonus's Twitch. That is this Friday, May 13th. Number 2, Power Rangers Jurassic Force. The new episode of the Power Rangers mini RPG miniseries begins this Saturday, May 14th at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. And number 3, a new episode of Eberron will be live this Saturday, May 14th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So, for those of you keeping track, just cancel your plans this weekend because you now have 3 Provo shows, special Provo shows to watch live on Twitch right here at Proficiency Bonus. Anything else you want to shout out about those streams, Michael?
Nope, you did a great job.
Job safe for another week. Okay. So, that is all of our housekeeping business. So, let us dive into our recap. As always, take it away, Brittany.
Okay. So after their escape from the battle with the Ignean Armada, the Grimm's Folly crew must once again deliver bad news to the crew of the Shrike and figure out their own plans. As they sailed towards Naporia, a few important conversations were had surrounding Captain Macbeth's newfound powers, Lexus's power surge in creating a giant snake of Scylla, and what the Igneans want surrounding Glasso that also connects everything the group's run across to each other so far. With a lot of suspicions and plenty to think and talk about, the crew resolved to try to get answers at Terra Libra and hoped that what they could find there would help them stop the growing sense of evil in the world that was surrounding them. And that's all I had as our recap from last game.
She's figured out the secret. If she does the recap fast enough, I don't have time to find some stupid shit in the office to mess around with.
I definitely shortened the recap this time. I was like, a few lines.
Okay, so that is our recap. So, we had kind of closed out last week. We were maybe going to, we closed it out with a narration that suggested perhaps we were bringing the chapter here to a close. But after kind of the end of this session, the end of the Fool's session, I sort of felt that both groups could use sort of like one more session to sort of tie up loose ends and get things to a more narratively complete and satisfying place. So that is what we're gonna do. We are going to continue pretty much right where we left off, with the addition of, if this works, let's find out.
Whoa, what's happening?
What's happening?
There we go.
You guys are...
Sound is back.
Sound is back. You guys are aboard the deck of the Grimm's Folly, sailing on your way to Naporia. We'll turn it down on your...
I am. It's like all the way up on my end. It's like the loudest ship in all of human history.
It's fitting. It's your vessel, right? It would be the loudest. So you guys are on the deck of the Grimm's Folly. That ship is sailing for Naporia, where you are to rendezvous with Nimwe's people, as well as the individuals that you had left behind there, most notably the bookkeeper's envoy, or the enclave, head of the enclave from the Ignean city of Umyath-Darai that you had rescued, who is securing your passage through a teleportation spell to Terra Libra. But you have probably, we'll call it 2 days left on your journey to reach Naporia from where you had conducted your ship battle and shook loose from the pursuing Ignean ships. So I will, before I do anything else, I will once again kind of put things to you guys. If there are any conversations any of you feel the need to conduct with fellow crew members, either player or NPC, you can do so now. Just to give you a quick, we had a little bit of this discussion beforehand, just to give you a quick rundown on kind of like who you've got around. You have, you have a whole bunch of crew members, but you've got, on the ship currently, you've got, Movor is on the ship. He is, one of the original prisoners that you guys brought with you from when you escaped the Barjack. Ogatumbe, Kivo, and Kenna have been left on Naporia. You have... Tea Kettle is on board. You have all of the orcs on board. Les, Lum, Korkug, and Shirkol number 1. Shirkol number 2 is still alive. You have the orcs on board. You have down in the bilge of the ship, you have your shark priestess, whose name I unfortunately did not put onto the roster here.
Iriskra.
She has something.
Iriskra.
I'll pull her from wherever she appears in the thing here. She's down there. You have a mercenary, a drow mercenary that you guys captured back in Umyath-Darai, and we have subsequently forgot about for about 10 episodes. Is still down in the brig. You have.
Well, don't we have hired people upon this ship that we could just assume, hey, it's your job.
Well, yeah, I mean, a port design make sure that that guy has been fed. It's not like you're gonna go down and there's just bones in the brig because you guys forgot to feed him.
Hold on, no, wait, no one said anything about feeding this man.
Then we go down there, it's like, thanks, you said you'd feed and water him, and we let you have a pet, and you did.
You have You have Oporo Dazan, your second mate. You have Anna Cromwell, your bosun. You have Vadric, your surgeon. You have Groll Halfhand, your cook. Those are sort of the NPCs that are currently on the ship. And obviously you are heading back to Naporia. So before I do anything, I will open the floor to you guys for anything you'd like to kind of explore.
I have something specific, but if anybody else says something else, they can go first.
Nope.
Murderbeard still has the one of the sending rings, right? I believe that's correct.
I think so.
Or as I
If
know.
I had it during.
Yeah, you had one and Nimue had the other.
Yeah. So I lost a feather. Sorry. Rip.
Feather.
At some point, during like an evening, through the ring, Murderbeard will like tell Nimue to like grab Thixus and come to the captain's quarters when convenient.
What did they do this time? Alright, I'll go find Thixus. Where is he out right now?
In the captain's court, like he's.
No, where is Thixus right now?
Oh, Thixus. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lexus would be probably in his cabin, just looking through those notes, or that book that he has.
Okay, I'll come knock on your door.
I come in.
I open the door. Oh.
There's papers everywhere.
Are you super busy?
I look around at the papers.
Right, stupid question. Well, I don't think you really have much of a
not at
choice.
all. No,
Yeah,
no.
well, Motherbeard wants to see us for some reason. Well, he asked me to bring you specifically, so I don't know what you did this time, but
Oh, he specifically?
yeah, he used the ring. So it must be serious.
Oh. Can you just, like, go and say you didn't find me? Just this time?
I'm not that great at lying. I could
Alright.
try. Wait, do you know what you did?
Most of the time, I have no idea.
That's true.
But, well, I've been learning some new things, and if things get really hairy, I can buy myself some time.
All right, I trust you.
Do you?
Oh, why not?
Oh, wow. That's incredible.
I trust all of you. But if you really did piss him off and you need, like, me to buy you time, I will buy you time. Just go to Rowan and you'll be safe. I got this. I got this. Fine.
Okay,
Let's
okay,
go.
Okay, let's go. I'm just gonna leave these on the floor, and I just walk right over all my papers.
What are you doing?
Gosh, just trying to put two and two together.
I will ask you about this later. Let's go. Nimue
Just
will
gonna-
remember this.
Stumble out, slowly like look in and close the door behind him.
I'm not very perceptive. It's fine. I take him to...
Awkwardly walking behind you.
Shuffling your feet.
That's it.
I'll knock on the captain's quarters. We have arrived. Hello.
You just like kick in the door, like being like, "We have arrived."
That was quite the entry. I like it.
I will stand in front, like just slightly in front of Lexus, just in case, because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, currently you just see a Nimue with like horns like sticking out of the side of her head. Captain, you wanted to see me?
Murderbeard is like sitting at his desk. Yes, there's something I want to discuss with the both of you.
Oh shit, I'm in trouble too.
No, nobody's in trouble. At least,
Oh, thank goodness! And I step out
at least
behind
not,
Nimue.
at least not,
Okay.
at least not one of you two.
Oh shit.
Oh, you're upset at someone else?
Just
I
all
bet
right.
you it was,
Hold on. Let me just
it
show
was,
you.
It was Rowan, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Rowan. But boy, thanks to you, quick to blame Rowan.
Okay.
Wow. Okay, we're just gonna move past that.
Rexus says nothing.
He'll stand up from his desk and go behind, like, you know, like those old-fashioned-y, like, changing curtain that, like, the like privacy curtain things. They probably have a specific name, but I don't know what they're called. And like as he's behind it, he's like, I asked the two of you to come in because I figured you were the you have solid magical knowledge, and you also would be the least likely to freak out or get suspicious. And saying that, he like comes out and he just has like his coat and his shirt off, and you see like around his wrists, it's sort of like they look like tattoos, except they're glowing that amber color, and it's like chains completely like wrapped around his forearms that then like wrap all the way up his arms and then sort of like across his chest. Is like, so this is new, and I don't know if this is bad or not.
Oh,
Where did you get those?
they glowing?
Very, very much so.
Those are definitely not like mine. When? How?
I'm assuming it has to do with the deal with Thorn, but
And that the whole magic shit, you think this is connected? Well, it's pretty obviously connected, but
I would hope.
likes this?
I don't really know anything about this in particular. I mean, I could do some research or study, or it'd take me a while to think about things that I may have read in the past, but
And like, you know, chains are kind of ominous, just putting that out there. You know, considering how we were all brought together.
Yeah, that's sort of my thoughts. Is well, I do have some newfound pretty cool power. Also, maybe a little concerned that I've damned myself to all eternity, or tied myself to some horrible monster.
You said yes? Like you agreed to all this?
It was sort of that or die. So
Well, I guess you took the lesser evil, so to speak.
hopefully,
Oh boy. I mean, the only people I think, aside from maybe Thixus, Sela might know something, or one of my our spiritual leaders back at Naporia might have an idea. If that they are my go-to, honestly, that's my gut instinct is to go to one of the spiritual leaders, and maybe they
Where
can
did-
have some.
where do people
idea.
think for a minute and go? Okay. All right, somebody go get Sela, but I think we can all agree nobody tells Rowan yet.
you have my word, Captain.
Wait, why are we excluding Rowan? What'd she do?
Yeah, she'll get to it in time. She's gonna have a whole freak out thing.
I mean, don't you want the freak out thing to be done and over with, like ripping off a bandage?
All right,
You're gonna delay
let's
the
bring
inevitable?
everybody in here and see.
All
shit
right,
this
yeah, I go
weekend.
find Rowan immediately. You get Sela, and I come to find Rowan.
Lexus will go gather Sela.
And Rowan is being summoned as well.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So you guys go. All right.
See, our
So
captain wants to
This
see
shit.
you.
You gotta see this shit. Come on, come with me. Hurry up.
Is it really that important I'm spending time with Tea Kettle?
Is Lexus in trouble again?
What are you and Tea Kettle talking about?
Tea Kettle goes respectfully.
Lexus would probably sit down with them and hang out for about 10 or 15 minutes before remembering why he was there. And then, oh, yeah, right. It is kind of important.
Alright. Tea Kettle, we will continue this conversation later. And there's probably, like, some weird stuff on the deck in front of us. Like, we were probably, like, I was probably showing Tea Kettle how to, like, take a handful of, like, bones and feathers and stuff and, like, scry with them. But then I will pack those up and pat Tea Kettle on the head and follow Thixis.
Alrighty. All right. So the Nimue and Thixis return respectively.
I
with
tell Ron,
Rowan
honestly,
and-
surprisingly, it's not Thixis this time.
Is it? Who's in trouble then?
No one! It's great! Let's go!
It's the middle of the night on the. Okay, you know what? Just follow Nimue. Grabbing my sword on the way
as
out.
they like enter back into the cabin, Murderbeard, are you just like still sort of like out.
He will
chilling with
put
your-
on a very tasteful
Pubes.
robe.
Pubes out.
Sure. Sure.
Ew!
So you have a robe. So you're like your markings are not
Okay.
immediately visible.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you guys head back into the captain's quarters, and Murderbeard is there with a tasteful robe on.
See, you gotta see
Very
this shit.
short though.
Actually, hang on a second.
Very
Roll.
short.
Go ahead and roll a d20. Roll for tastefulness for me, please.
Oh. That's a 5.
Yeah. So
Nice.
it's like it's
very
like
short.
it's like a silk short kimono.
His
It's
beard
it's
is
like
longer than the robe.
super. It's real douchey. It's like not cool at all.
And it's got dragons on it.
It does
Hell
have dragons
yeah.
on it.
I look at everybody in the room. I'm just like, I don't know what kind of crew you think we all are. I'm flattered, but I don't know if I need to be here for this.
Go ahead, everybody. Go ahead and make a perception check real quick, everybody.
Oh no.
Lexus would probably just walk in and be like, wow, Captain, nice robe.
Wow, I nat one.
Oh no.
So that's an 8 total.
Okay.
15.
I got a 10 total.
10.
4.
Yeah.
Did you roll, Murderbeard?
Oh, I have to make one too?
Yeah, just everybody.
That's a 16 plus
I think I know what's happening right now.
natural dirty 20. Sorry.
Okay, so Murderbeard, you're the only one that notices. They walk in and they're just like looking at you, concerned with your thing. You're the only one that notices that Tea Kettle like followed them in. And when Tea Kettle sees that you have noticed her, Tea Kettle just goes at your
Oh,
robe.
it didn't come across on
Oh,
Discord.
yeah, she like
Oh,
wolf
did she-
whistles
did
your
she do
robe.
the wolf whistle?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay, first things first, everybody settle down. Second thing, this robe was in here. I didn't buy it.
And yet you chose to wear it.
That's what she said.
I am still wearing pants.
Which begs the question, why are you showing us your clothing choices with this robe? I mean, it's fine, but do we need to know how you're changing your outfit?
First of all, yes. Second of all, that's not the point. I am attempting to get counsel from some magical people.
You know,
Which you are.
Murderbeard, if you have one of those rashes, I do have some herbs that can help you with them, but you should be careful about how you behave in the future, especially
Conversation for later. More pressing matters.
Oh god.
Okay.
Take it off!
Yeah, just go ahead and show him.
First of all, everybody
Rowan
better
and Sela
watch
are
their
looking at each
words
other.
right now.
I said what I said.
I don't
All right.
looking at Sela very concerned about what we've just been brought into.
Gotta show you what you're here for. But Rowan, you have to promise me that you're not gonna freak out. And Vertebrate will like take off the robe and show his glowing chain tattoos. Be like, this is new.
Can you re-describe where the placement is? Because I was literally blinded by my rage of the fact that you didn't bring me in first to see them, and I did not listen to where they are.
So it's like on both like wrists, they're like it's changed like completely wrapped around his forearms that then like they snake all the way up his shoulder and then end up in essentially like a cross bandolier of like chains across his chest and back.
This is not super relevant to the current situation, but just for my own theater of the mind, in my head, what I'm envisioning of like shirtless Murderbeard is that he's like an old-timey strongman where his pants are like come up to like here, and he's just like a barrel of like in his chest with like two really ripped guns arms, but he's like old-timey fat strong.
I feel like we can barely even see the tattoos through the body hair.
Yeah, he's like
We're like, what?
Yeah, he has to pull the beard aside. So like,
He has to pull the beard and comb the arm hair out of the way.
Look.
I mean, I already checked to see if this.
now. I will say they look fucking wicked, but I don't know if I'm cursed or not.
I mean, I checked for evil before the other day, and it wasn't that, but I don't know. This might just not be something I've come across before. I'm gonna like kind of circle Murderbeard real quick and then come back and stand by everybody else and just look at the chains.
I mean, Captain, do you feel different?
Not particularly.
Can I go? There are like little doors at the back that open out into one of those little balconies, like where we blasted that dude with wind, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can I open one of those and say, for my own curiosity, Murderbeard, can you cast something out and let me see what happens?
Yeah. I guess I'm just gonna. I'll go with the classic. Like,
I'm just trying to see if they if they change or anything happens when you like,
Yeah.
cast the spell.
Because that's what mine do. That's a good idea.
The old,
Yeah.
the old Eldritch
I'll
Blast.
do the Vertebrate will then go to like the those like holsters are still there, even though he's shirtless. Like he'll like pull one of those.
Here's what I'm thinking based on what you have described. So you're gonna Eldritch Blast.
Yes.
I'm gonna make a slight modification to your situation based on the description that you like. This tattoos and chains thing you sort of have elaborated on your own. So I think based on that, because I think this is really cool imagery, I'm gonna make a tweak, right? So you don't have physical holsters. You have these like ornate runed, like the tattoos of the chains go up your arm and across your chest and around your back into like two like patches of like tattooed runes. And so as you walk to the door, Murderbeard, and you like reach your hand and then bring it up to Eldritch Blast, the runes across your like rib cage of this tattoo, this like ruddy deep sea vent orangey glow, flares, and in like a trail of like steam heat, as you bring your hand up, the gun like materializes in your hand and like forms fully as you get your arm like fully extended, and then you fire this weapon. And then as you like, if you go to like put it away, as you like return it to your side, it dematerializes again.
I also imagine that like firing the pistol, the like color from all of the tattoos like will flow into
Sure.
like the barrel of that and then fire out.
Yes,
and
very
then
cool.
like reglow.
Wow. Fuck. That's amazing.
That's fancy as fuck. Damn.
So what is it? Is there something you're trying to discern from this, Sela?
Is there something I can try to discern?
Well, I mean, I feel like now it's basically just like proof and like confirmation of like the connect, because like obviously there was a connection, but I feel like I'm getting a better picture of it all. But it's like basically like trying to better understand the nature of this, which is obviously arcane, which is a little bit out of Scylla's wheelhouse.
Sure.
But like if the weapons are coming out of the tattoos, then that means that the weapons in her mind are somehow like associated with some kind of like, it could be a bond, but it could also be servitude because they're chains. So that's kind of like where her thought process is at with all of this.
Yeah.
I don't even know if because like she has a lot of information about certain things, but I feel like this is probably something that she has little to no historical knowledge about, and so this is like not something that she can be like, well, I read in a book once, because it's like the opposite of what she does.
Sure.
I have had a chance of learning anything about this at the Radiant Dawn.
Make a religion check.
And would the Thyxus have read anything about anything like this?
24 religion check.
Okay, so before we resolve that, let me put this question to you, Thyxus. Your studies have been sort of on the kind of the nature of magic and sort of is that sort of a generally
Generally, yeah.
the sources of power, right? Because at least as you described it to me, right, Thyxus is very curious about his own nature and where what his roots are, right?
True. Mm-hmm.
Okay. That being the case, I would say you can also make an Arcana check in this context.
Sure.
I'm sorry, can I also, this is so minor, can I look at the runes that are
Yeah.
because runes sometimes they aren't necessarily like a language or even letters, but I would imagine that a lot of times they could still be rooted in a language.
Sure.
So they could be. Do I recognize them as Druidic, Elvish, or Giant?
You can also make an Arcana check. You had
My
a 20
Arcana
some
check
odd, Rowan.
was...
Go ahead, Thyxus.
Oh, my Arcana check was a 22.
22. Rowan had a 20 something, right? And how about Sela?
I had a 24.
12.
12. Okay. So Sela, what I will say is those runes are not anything that you do not recognize them as Elvish, Giant, or Druidic. What I will say, I imagine in the world that we've sort of crafted here, Giant is probably a derivative language of Druidic. Because we've based on your character's lore and the lore we've created for Furbolg kind of around this, the Furbolg are an extremely nature centric peoples. So I think it makes sense to say that within the context of this world that Giant is probably a language that was derived from certain forms of ancient Druidic. And you do not recognize these runes as being Giant or Druidic in nature. They're certainly not Elvish. It is a common belief amongst your people that the elves would fashion themselves as the oldest and original race on that they're the longest lived. They're sort of the progenitors of all civilization here, but your people are very, very much in opposition to that, in the the thoughts that the deep wilds have been here long before anything else. And with that 12, I don't think you discern anything of particular values, save for the fact that the sort of the form of some of these runes does kind of remind you Druidic in a sense, even though it is like a different, like a different runology.
Would it look like primordial?
Is that a language that Nimue speaks?
Yeah, because she's so close to the water. Like
Hey.
her thing is very Moana-ish.
That is important. Good to know. We'll resolve that in a second.
Sure.
Rowan, with your religion check, the Radiant Dawn is teaches that the source of the power that those within its ranks who can become paladins, like yourself, they teach that the source of that power comes from something that they refer to as the Star of Dawn, which we've discussed this before. You know this to be true, right? That is the light that you channel as a paladin. They teach that there are sort of in that religious way of like teaching like, oh, those who are not righteous and worthy to like walk the path and receive the, like be worthy of the light of dawn. Like there are those who have fallen to dark paths in an attempt to, to claim similar power when the Star of Dawn has like rejected them. And those individuals seek lesser entities which can offer them power in exchange for things. And so that in that case, those individuals who are gifted power by, essentially like offering themselves in servitude or paying a price or, something along those lines, something that the Radiant Dawn teaches is like a maligned method of obtaining magical power. Those individuals are known as warlocks. The Radiant Dawn teaches that, like, pretty much without exception, warlocks are evil and heretics. And Thyxis, with your Arcana check, I think you pretty much have the same basic information. Like, you have the basis of this, of, like, somebody who obtains power via making some sort of a pact with some sort of a source or an entity or a being that can, like, grant it to them is known as a warlock. You just lack the filter of, like, religious fanaticism that has been applied to, like, the version of this that Rowan got. Your learning has been much more academic, in that, like, some people are wizards and they study the nature of the weave of magic and learn their arcana through manipulating that. I think you definitely know what sorcerers are, as being able to, like, identify yourself as some sort of a sorcerer, as in, like, you have an innate magic within you from somewhere. You know that, some people are warlocks and that's how they get their power. You know of clerics and clerical magic that comes from a divine being. So I think, like, you can also glean with this Arcana check based on the context here, like, Murderbeard has entered into some sort of a pact that has, that would classify him as a warlock. He has been granted some sort of a power by something that he has, like, forged a bond with.
The writing reminds me of, like, it's like an old form of Druidic, but it's not. I can't read it.
I will attempt to read it.
Okay, so you look at it. So Nimue, you understand primordial.
I do.
You recognize this, as from a distance, it kind of just looks like patterns and things like that. But as Sela says, like, this is, this reminds me of, like, old, ancient Druidic, like, nature language. You look at it, you realize that this is, in fact, primordial script. It doesn't necessarily say anything to be read, but it is runes of binding and of power and energy transference, and runes of there's not really like a direct one-to-one translation, but it is like the essence of these runes is that like it is a binding of something which gives in exchange for the like something is given, and that creates like a transference of energy that they receive back. You know, in that sense. But you can definitely tell that this is something that is primordial in nature. And I think the Naporians' version of like what is a primordial, what primordial means, is very centered around the spirits that they worship, that that inhabit the planet and nature and the sea and things like that. They're deities that they have temples to.
Well, shit. It's definitely a primordial spirit of some sort, one of our guardians of the like, maybe a lesser guardian, but it's definitely primordial spirit runes. It's like a transference of energy, like a commitment and binding. You're giving something in exchange for power, I think.
I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
I look at Murderbeard for a little while before I say anything. And I would just kind of like lean against the wall opposite him and just kind of like stare for a bit, because she's remembering everything about how the Radiant Dawn taught her, but she never quite agreed with all of the stuff. So she's just quietly looking at him, especially after Nimue says that it's like a binding pact thing.
It definitely wouldn't hurt to go speak to our spiritual leaders if it is in fact primordial. They would have the most knowledge on those type of entities and guardians.
Here's a question. If Murderbeard looks into the mirror, can he read it?
Well, it's backwards. You can
no,
try.
I don't think so.
Okay. Murderbeard holds 2 mirrors.
You can read it all of a sudden.
Oh my god!
No, it is.
Oh no, it's just pee pee poo poo. Oh, God.
It all makes sense.
So, Captain, you said that you made this pact, this agreement, in exchange for your life, in fear of death. Correct?
Correct.
What was the other end of the agreement?
Did you hear anything? Your voices? Or did you get the feeling? Sometimes you get the feelings. Did you like feel a pull?
Essentially, it was Thorn who was speaking to me somehow underwater. I assume magic. And in his last dying moments, he asked me if I wanted to live, and when I replied I, the chains sort of came out of him and entangled me. It wasn't the most pleasant experience.
But he didn't tell you anything else other than be like, yo, do you want to live? Because that's an obvious, like, entrapment answer.
Perhaps
He
you
didn't,
just...
right? DM question. He didn't really say much.
Not really.
He was, you want to live?
He basically to flash back to that. He basically said, I knew that this end would come for me at some point, I just didn't know it would be now. And so, like, it was essentially like, so like this is how it ends for me. You're here, which means perhaps the time, like, perhaps this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to pass this to you now. Like, do you want to live? Like,
So Murderbeard inherited this probably
seems
pact
to be,
or
yeah,
agreement
you
that
don't
was already
necessarily,
in place between
right, yeah.
whatever entity
You don't
and
necessarily
Thorn.
get the sense that Thorn had all of the information either.
Got it.
Perhaps it might not be a bad idea to also ask Son of Thorn's crew, as well as perhaps see if he had any information. And then Murderbeard looks up and goes, and looks up at Tea Kettle and goes, "Ah, one of Thorn's crew."
Tea Kettle sort of like cocks her head at you, and she goes like, "Oh no, nothing."
All right. Thanks anyway.
She goes.
Ixus wants to know, is
Why?
Tea Kettle telling the truth?
Yeah, I was also gonna ask, is she bullshitting him right
Yeah,
now?
you can make an insight check.
Yeah.
She
Like,
goes.
I feel like she would bullshit him on principle.
Yeah, you can make insight
Tea
checks.
Kettle,
actually.
Tea Kettle's absolutely telling the truth. I rolled a
Yeah, I
3.
also nat one this one. I had
Jeez.
2 nat ones
I
tonight.
rolled a 9 minus 1.
I rolled a 12.
I guess I'll roll just because we're all
Wow, look
checking.
at all the charisma race characters that got beat up by a bird.
Yeah. Charisma. Tea Kettle's too cute. It's fine.
16. Yeah. Tea Kettle says. She says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, love. Oh, I ain't never seen nothing like that in my life. Nope. Not me. Nope." You get the sense that Tea Kettle is telling the truth. You think Tea Kettle like never saw, didn't even know that like this was a thing like that Thorn had going on.
Is there anybody left on Thorn's crew who, like, we might think might not, like, presumably the best option would be Poole, who's
Also dead.
dead.
Welp.
There was those 2 dudes from
I mean,
last time.
you could theoretically talk to like his quartermaster Ogatumbe. You could maybe talk to his bosun, like his other officers, but they are number one gone as hell. They sailed away from here, and you kind of get the sense, the sense from Tea Kettle. Tea Kettle will elaborate at least enough as best she can. Sort of like. Oh, something hidden? Yes, indeed. Secrets, always secrets men keep. You get the sense from her that like this was something that Thorn was hiding from his crew.
I just look at.
And based on your experience with Tea Kettle, like on your own boat, like. Tea Kettle gets into places to see what's going on in, like, situations where she should not be there. So, like, if Tea Kettle didn't know about it, you can pretty safely assume that, like, it was not to be known.
I just look at Captain from across the room and I just say, I mean, you have power now, and it's not power like mine, and it's not something you have always had like Thixus. So we were taught at the Radiant Dawn that would make you what they call a warlock. That you made a deal and now you have power. They also teach us that that means you're bad, but we've already established that I didn't detect evil on that when I tried. So, for all the short-sightedness, at least I know what to call you. But I don't agree with their assessment of who you are, or what that would make you. I don't even think Thorn would have been considered bad, because I mean, he tried to break us all out of a slaver ship. We just had already started before he got there. So,
Don't know anything about the warlock, but I will say that in the stories that go back much further than any empire ever has, there are tales of members of the folk who could turn into different forms and would commit themselves to something very specific, and at the end of their lives would become one with that energy. And I feel like that sort of dedication is perhaps not very far off from what this is. So you can rest easy knowing that dog butt.
Not on
Only we can see that too.
If only we could
They
see
can
it.
see it. The stream can't.
Conversation of which someone else with the dog butt slowly coming into frame for that. Only we can
Yeah,
see.
there's like a there's
If
a
you-
dog butt.
If you don't, oh, okay, there you go. If you
There,
don't get to
yeah.
like, there you go, okay, there.
His face is even better.
It's like seeing a little elephant coming onto the stream.
Hi, I'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes, but anyway, you can rest easy knowing that this sort of dedication to some sort of energy is something that we have record of happening since before time.
Did I interrupt things?
Nah, you're good. You didn't interrupt anything. Cute.
Murderbeard will, look at the two, Rowan and I appreciate your words. Makes me a little less concerned than I was.
if you ever get worried that it's going away, you don't like it to go, I can always run that spell a couple times and check if you're worried, but I get the sense that if you were gonna be a bad person, Captain, if anything was gonna turn you into what you're potentially fearing, it wouldn't be this. It would have been everything else that you've already happened to you. So
If you're lucky, you might turn into a great tree at the end of your life.
maybe an
That
orange
is-
tree.
That is what the old stories say would happen. Or a rat. I don't know what it is. Maybe a fish. You should spend some time thinking about it, so you can prepare yourself for whatever is to come.
I'm feeling a little less good than I did before. But thank you, I will prepare myself to be a rat or a tree.
I will feed you if you turn into a rat.
I'll
Don't worry.
I will only accept this if
be a rat
Cap
tree.
becomes a rat or a tree with that glorious beard intact.
Maybe he'll be a willow tree and it'll be one of those. They all just hang down.
All right. So you guys have your conversation. You head off to your respective back to your cabins to sleep as this conversation has gone late into the night. Everybody make me a perception check.
Why? What do you mean by
I
that?
think I'm at liberty to tell you that.
Matt, also Thyxus, once he got back to his room, would do his best to attempt to draw the tattoos that
Okay.
Murderbeard has.
You know what, guys? I might have not won twice, but it all comes back around because that's a natural 20 for a 27.
Nice. Okay.
15.
A 7.
What was yours, Ron?
6.
I got a
6.
12.
And you guys 12. Okay. All right, so you guys all head back to your respective cabins or places of rest that you have upon the ship, and the night watch of the crew takes over the operation of the ship, and all of you individually drift off to sleep. And an indeterminate amount of time passes. Sort of feels like it's kind of that situation where like you fall asleep and then like something wakes you up and you don't know if you've been asleep for 5 minutes or for like 3 hours, but you sort of like wake up in a start. Murderbeard specifically, this is intended for you. You come to consciousness. You're in your bed. In your cabin. And you are startled awake as you hear "You're not gonna come back as a rat." And you like open your eyes, and sitting on the end of your bed by your feet, staring straight ahead into like the side of the cabin wall, is Nathaniel Thorne. In the dark of the cabin, you can see his like shadowy outline. You can see his coal burning ember eyes in the darkness, and you can see that his hair and his beard and his clothing are sopping wet and dripping with water. It like seeps into your bed and your mattress and your sheets and blankets. It like dribbles over the like the edge, like through the mattress, and like you can hear like dripping onto the floorboards of the cabin. And he's just like sitting with his hands resting on his knees on like the foot of your bed.
So he like full on looks like a ghost, right?
He looks like a soggy Nathaniel Thorne sitting on the edge of your bed. He's not like translucent. You look where he's sitting, like there is a like depression in the bed where he is like seated. He is apparently having an effect on the like environment around him.
If I'm not coming back as a rat, I'm coming back as...
He stares off into the distance for a while, and there's like a bit of an odd pause where he is too still for a moment, like unnaturally still, before he moves into motion and kind of like tilts his head towards you, and he says, "That's not one of the things that I know."
So I'm supposed to ask you what you do know?
Again, that odd stillness. In a manner of speaking, I can only answer certain things in certain ways. You'll have to ask the right questions.
Okay. Did you know what you were signing up for? Or were you like me?
I came to the power the same way that you did. Passed to me from the one that came before. In a moment where the choice was accept the power or die.
How well did you understand your power, or where it came from?
I learned what it wanted, more or less, over time. He looks at you first, like for the first time here. He turns his head towards you, and he says, "The one before visited me, like I am you now. When I was doing something ill-advised, it sent him to tell me the way I've been sent to tell you.
You keep saying it. What is it?
He sort of shakes his head. He says, "That's not one of the things I know."
Well, then what am I doing that is ill-advised?
He, reaches under his right arm. He draws out his hand and he makes like a gun like a gun gesture, and he just goes, and he says, "There is a price to using that power. You don't want to be doing it willy-nilly. There are rules, Macbeth."
Well, what are the rules? How am I supposed to know anything if nobody tells me jack shit?
He says, "You figured by now that new weapon of yours fires a projectile of sorts, eh? Well, it don't take a bolt or a cannonball or any other sort of ammunition you might expect to do it. You haven't had to load that weapon, have you, Macbeth?"
No.
That weapon, it don't fire ammunition. That weapon slivers off a wee bit of your soul every time you pull that trigger. That's the exchange. Your soul for power.
Well, that seems like information that should have been provided up front!
He kind of looks away for a second, and he goes, I'm not Thorn, Macbeth. I'm just a thing what looks like him, and uses your memories of the man to convey information. I don't know why he didn't tell you more. I would imagine it were because he had a big fuck-off piece of wood in his chest, and you both were about to drown.
Fair enough. Anything else important I should know?
He says, my time is growing short. This commune can't last for very long. I've given you the information that I was supposed to give you about the way the weapons work. If you want anything else, you'll have to ask. And do it quick. I've not much time left.
Is there any way to undo what's been done? Or am I stuck with it?
There is.
Are you able to elaborate on that, or is that more...
He says, I am. To rid yourself, you have to die and pass it on to the next one.
And what happens when I die? And what happens if I don't pass it on?
Again, that, like, eerie, sort of, like, too still for a few moments, and he just turns, and he looks, and he says, that's not something that I know. And you wake up. You are alone in your cabin. It is still dark, still nighttime. And you kind of feel around, like, your feet. The end of your bed, where Thorn was sitting in this dream, is soaked through. And there is a puddle of water on the floor beneath the bed. How sure you are of whether or not you peed the bed is up to you. But there is a significant amount of, like, liquid in your bed and on the floor. What's that?
I'm assuming if it's the end of the bed away from me, I'm not too concerned that I peed myself.
We have not delved into dwarven anatomy. We don't know if dwarves pee out of their feet in this world. That is not something that I will confirm nor deny.
We're done.
So, Sela, with your natural 20 perception check during the course of this evening, what you notice, and I think it's cool that you were the one who rolled this, there is, for about 15 minutes, something kind of like just like the hairs on the back of your neck sort of stand up. Where does, I guess, let's ask this question first. Where does Sela sleep typically? In a cabin? Like, is she, like, on the deck somewhere?
Okay, so my thought is she probably prefers to sleep on the deck, but if that is, like, logistically just makes no sense for... Or is there a door to the captain's quarter? I don't know. Okay, yeah, usually on the deck, but she probably has a little hammock, a very big hammock, not a little
Yeah, that's no
hammock,
problem.
in a room somewhere for when it's like really nasty out.
Okay, so I mean, if you are inside, something like kind of spurs you to get out and go out onto the deck. If you are already on the deck, you kind of wake up.
Probably on the deck, yeah.
And you notice for that very brief window, there is like a bioluminescent algae bloom in the ocean immediately surrounding the Grimm's Folly. And you like look over the edge, and there's just this like aurora of like cyans and blues and flares of light as the Grimm's Folly crests through the waves, and like the prow of the ship sort of like disturbs the water. You see these like flickering lights in the ocean. Some of the other crew members who are like actually on duty sailing the ship at night like notice this as well. You see several of them like looking over into the ship. And with that nat 20 during the period that this is happening, you would swear that you see like in among those like inflorescence of luminescent, plankton, phytoplankton life, you see like between the spaces of light, you see something like more solid and dark just like shifting beneath the boat. And you watch this, and it only lasts for like a brief period of time, and then like it fades away and it's gone. And as this like happens with Sela, this coincides with like the exact moment, Murderbreed, that you like spring awake in your cabin.
Does the glowing algae go? Is it still there, or does it go away when the thing goes away?
Gone.
That's sussy. Hold on, I'm thinking. Okay, you know what? Based on the conversation that we had with it's some kind of primordial thing, and just seeing something weird immediately, like not that long after having this whole conversation about Murderbeard and like selling his whatever, I feel like she doesn't think that there's a coincidence there, so she will respectfully go and knock on the captain's door.
Okay.
Are you alive?
So Murderbreed, you are in the process of having woken up and investigating the puddle that has formed at the foot of your bed, like where Thorn was like sitting on the mattress, and there is a knock on your door.
Murderbeard doesn't seem to notice it as he's
Okay.
preoccupied.
You get no answer from your respectful knock.
Just like open the door a little. I'm just looking. I'm gonna just peek in and make sure he's still breathing.
Is the door locked to your cabin, Murderbreed?
Oh yeah, shit. Is it locked?
Oh,
I'll just break it if it's not. If it is, I mean. I'll break it. Yeah.
no.
It is not. Okay, so you creak open the door. You see Murderbeard like sitting up in bed, I guess, or sitting on like the side of the bed.
He's probably like standing like over the bed. Like his back is to ceiling.
You see Murderbeard standing, looking at his own
You
bed
sound a bit low, BB, by the way.
with
Russell.
a sussy puddle underneath the bed.
Captain, I know that initially today when we were talking, it was about afflictions of a magical nature. But if you are experiencing afflictions of a physical nature, like, you know, I could try to help you with this. There's a puddle. What did you do? You don't have to be ashamed.
Murderbeard will turn around and I think for the first time, at least for the first time, like that Sila's seen, like Murderbeard, not only like doesn't have a quippy remark, but like not have like has like a real concerned look on his face, but doesn't say anything.
Okay, sensing that this isn't some like gentle mocking time, she will drop that. What happened?
Oh, I have just been informed that power comes with a price.
And you didn't realize that before this?
I mean, I assumed, but I just had a ghost of Captain Thorne inform me of some specifics.
What sort of specifics?
Apparently, weapons that don't need ammunition take a very specific type of ammunition.
I know a lot of things, but I need you to elaborate. I don't know what you mean.
Really, this thing shoots soul bullets.
Like, from your soul? Oh. Did you fix it?
I'm trying. Hold on.
If you go to like the little mute button at the bottom, there's an arrow, and you should check what your input device is, because I don't think it's your mic. It sounds like it's your camera mic. You're like very, very quiet.
Yes, no.
I can
sounds
still hear him.
exactly
I don't know what, but I haven't turned all the way up.
Oh, I made it worse. How about now?
Much better.
There was literally no change during the course of any of that for me, so I don't know what was happening that you guys couldn't hear him.
He kept getting really quiet, so it was really hard for me to hear. And like I've maxed out his volume, but I'm still sometimes having problems hearing him. I don't know if it's connection or what, but
It's weird, yeah, because it was fine for me the whole time. I wasn't having any issues up and down.
Yeah, it was very low for me too.
very low.
Weird.
All I did was like disconnect my mic and then like.
I still think it's coming out of it. I don't think it's coming from your mic, but I'm just maxing your volume, and it's slightly better.
The thing it says it's coming out of my mic. Just do the rest of the show like this.
There you go. Quick
was-
question. Is that mic... I forget what the, like... It's not, like, parabolic or whatever. Like, does that mic have a front and back where, like, the front of it records the audio and the back doesn't?
I've literally never moved it, so it wouldn't be.
We'll worry about that off stream. So anything else going on in this scene between Scylla and Murderbeard?
Oh yeah. So Scylla had asked, like, is it your Is it your soul that's...
I said yes.
Do you have a problem with that?
Not rightly sure.
I did not understand what you just said.
You said
babe,
not
I'm sorry.
rightly sure.
Okay. It's like kind of garbled. Well, you know, not to use this as an opportunity to push my own beliefs on you, but perhaps this is something where you need to sit without any distractions and dedicate yourself to clearing out your headspace so you can approach thinking about that more clearly. Because if you have a lot on your mind, you're going to be distracted. You won't be able to know what you actually want.
I'll think on that.
I'm always around to help if you need it.
I appreciate it.
For the last few minutes, there was out of nowhere and stopped just as suddenly a bloom of algae that glowed, which I've seen before, but usually it does. I don't think it starts and stops so suddenly, and that there was something below it. There was something, another form moving through it, which is why I came to make sure that you were okay. Because seeing a phenomenon like that the same day as the group's conversation just struck me as odd.
Probably not a coincidence. Coincide with Thorn's visitation.
Perhaps it wasn't Thorn visiting you at all.
No, it wasn't. It said that, but it took the form of. But it wouldn't tell me what it actually was.
Well, if I see anything else strange, I will tell you, but other than that, I can't really help you solve your own problems. You have to figure out how you want them solved before I can help. So when you get to that point, and you know what you want to do, I will be here.
Alright, so the remainder of the night passes without incident for all of you guys. The next dawn breaks. You are continuing on your, your journey, heading for Naporia. You are, you guys know based on your, your navigation, your maps and things, you're probably gonna pull into port at Naporia at like late afternoon, an hour or so before sunset today. So you have this kind of last leg of your journey, and Rowan, at like just before midday, Grohl Halfhand finds you on the deck, and he comes up, and he just like very kind of casually walks up to you, and he sort of does that thing like in a spy movie where like he comes up and he's like not looking at you, like you're not having a conversation, and he goes like Miss Rowan, there's something I would like to show you. Can you meet me in the galley in 10 minutes?
I look at him and see he's trying to do that we're not talking thing. So I focus on like looking at like pieces of my armor and like fixing like some of the stuff, and I just mutter, "Of course," just playing along to make him feel better.
He says, "Very good. Tell no one. Come alone." And then he walks away.
I will wait the appropriate amount of time, and then go see my buddy Grohl.
Okay. So you go to the galley and you find that he is in there, and he is looking at like the back corner where he has like the current he's got like a couple of barrels of like fresh water, a few of the barrels of like the ship's like rations and supplies and things like that. And all of a sudden I'm playing Thyxis. We'll see if Russell comes back. He brings you in there, and he is like looking at these. And as you come in, he says, "Close the door behind you."
I shut it, a little confused, but again, it's Grohl. I trust him.
He walks over to one of the barrels of fresh water, and he like reaches up and he grabs a like a cleaver from like one of the like hooks on the walls, and he like takes it and he sticks it into the top of the barrel and like pries the lid of this barrel open, and lifts it up, and you are immediately struck by like the stink of like rancid, spoiled water. And he says, "All the fresh water and all of the rations on the ship have been sabotaged." He points to like his like cutting board table, and then he points to like another barrel that you see like is already cracked open, and you see that there's like a gnarly, like rotten dead fish on the like the table, and he says, "It was in the water barrel." He says, "I've been checking. Every one of our rations has been cracked into, spoiled somehow." He says, "I've got enough fresh here." He's in like gestures to some of the like dried meats and stuff. He says, "And we're only a day out in Naporia, so the crew's not gonna starve or die of dehydration. But somebody aboard this ship is messing with our supplies." He says, "I thought you should know before we get to port, and any of the lubbers on this boat get off of this ship." So for like mechanical purposes, all of your ship's like rations zeroed.
Okay. I'm gonna go over and just look at it all just to see how bad it is. Like, I believe him and I can smell it, but I need to look at it. And I just turn and look at him. Clearly, like, my face getting angrier and angrier by the second. And I say, "Who's been down here with you? Who comes in this kitchen?"
He says, "The Bean Queen. It's only you that comes down and cooks with me. I think no one comes in here for any other reason." He says, he nods like down below you. He says, "Down in the hold as well, where the excess supplies are, been sabotaged as well." He says, "I have no control over who comes and goes from down within the hold." He says, "But as far as in here, no one."
Do you get the sense that it's been sabotaged over time, or just last night?
He says, "For the water to have been turned like this, to be this rancid, that fish must have been slipped in there a little bit ago. I don't think this all happened at once."
We're gonna need to set watches when you or I aren't in here. It's gonna have to only be a few people that we trust.
He says, "I figure you trust the other officers, but I wanted to tell you first. Leave it to your discretion as to who to tell and who not. Somebody aboard this vessel is trying very hard to make life difficult for the rest of us." He says, "I can't help think back to Them weeks
Cannon.
ago, when that cannon was cut loose,
Yeah.
smashed up that poor girl's leg real bad.
That's what I thought of too immediately when you pointed out that it was all destroyed. All I could think of was that we never figured out who did that, and now we don't know who's done this. I just look around at everything and cursing a little bit, and like just kind of like kicking like the rancid sacks of stuff, like not kicking it over, but like towing all the stuff that's just gone bad. And I shake my head and I just look at him and say, don't let anybody in here. Don't stand in here because you're gonna get sick from the smell. But close the door behind you, stay outside, and tell everyone who comes down here that the galley's closed until later, and if they have a fucking problem with it, they can come find me.
He nods, he says, "Will do. I'll keep anyone from tampering with the crime scene, as it were."
Thank you, Grohl. I'm gonna pat him on the shoulder, and I'm gonna go moving through the ship in like the order of like where because we all probably stick to some sort of pattern from where I am in the galley to get into the captain's quarters. I'm gonna grab the officers of the ship as I go.
Okay.
You know, so like whoever's cabin I pass first, find probably Sela and Nimue on the deck somewhere, like, but grab everybody and just quietly say like, we need to talk in the captain's quarters immediately.
Did another tattoo show up? Do you have a tattoo now?
No, but we have another problem.
What happened this time?
Just get to the quarters. We're not talking about it in front of anybody.
Okay.
We'll go into the captain's quarters, and I will, looking around, I'll flag Apora Dazan
Okay.
as well.
Alright, they will come with you.
And I'll say to Apora, I trust you, but I don't need you in the conversation just yet. What I do need is for you to be out here and make sure nobody overhears what goes on in here for a minute, and then we'll bring you in, okay?
They kind of look around, and to their credit, they ask no questions, and they go, "I will keep anyone from getting within earshot."
If anyone comes in earshot, yell for us. 'Cause no one, just no one. I will step into the captain's quarters as our captain has come back into Discord. So. Is he back?
Hello. Is this any better?
So
Significantly. It
So
actually
much
sounds
better.
like
Yeah.
the mic is working now.
I figured it out. No, it's because I accidentally.
Your camera is still not on, though.
Oh, I accidentally opened OBS, and it like absolutely Discord didn't like that.
Just rejected its friend. Okay. Recap for you. Grohl came and found me and said, "Hey,
I had the
I'll
stream open,
food
so I'm
spoil."
up to date.
Okay. So we're all going into your quarters.
Party.
Cause
Oh, you've caught me with my beard off. Give me a moment.
Oh my god, it comes off.
that's worse than the robe.
Oh,
No, it doesn't come off, which makes this worse.
It's the warlock pack.
Oh no!
I didn't know that was a hat. It wasn't.
As soon as we're all in the captain's quarters and the door's shut and Apora's outside, I'm gonna stand against the door as well. And just look at all of them for a minute and then say, do you remember the cannon issue we had a little while ago?
Yeah. I kind of
Yeah.
pissed off the fish girl because I accused her and I didn't really have any evidence. It was just a gut feeling.
Well, I mean, she's the one who openly hates all of us, so that was pretty much, I think, where we all went with that. But she kind of flat out told us that she'd rather kill us to our faces and not this sneaky.
That's
sneaky
true.
trap.
She did. Yeah.
So she's not the problem right now, but we do have another problem. Grohl found me on the deck and had me come downstairs, and everything we have in the galley is spoiled. Food, the water.
What?
It's rancid. It's been tampered with. We have less than a day to Naporia, and we have enough to get us there and not be dehydrated or starve. We have enough of that left. But as far as the bulk of our rations that we've put all of our money towards in the past, gone. It's been tampered with.
What about the rum?
Why
He
is
didn't-
the rum gone?
God.
He didn't point out the alcohol stores. I feel like even the person on this ship who might have done this probably didn't want to ruin the alcohol stores for fear of all of our rage on that. So
True.
we'll have to check on that. But my concern is this is the second time something has been done on this ship, and we don't know who did the first time, and now we have it again. And
Well, fuck.
it's not Kiriskra because she would kill us to our faces.
She would, yeah.
As much as I don't like her or actually trust her, I don't doubt her right now in this.
Yeah, no, when she said that she'd rather, like, kill me to my face, I believed her.
And I don't have a problem with Apora.
Did the cannon thing happen? The cannon thing happened like kind of a while ago, right? At least like in terms of
Holy
sessions,
cow.
like it was like
Pre-Shiva
before.
Symboria, I believe.
It was,
Wait, it was pre-Invaria, pre-city.
I think
thing?
so.
I think
But
it
it
was
was,
actually.
but here's,
I mean,
it was after
it was,
we picked up the fish girl, but it
Yes,
was before
'cause the
our
fish-
next major
the
thing.
fish girl was on the boat at the time.
That's all I needed to
So
know.
that's sort of your
That's all I
time
needed
frame.
to know.
Somebody please pronounce Fish Girl's name for me.
So here I've made an executive decision. Her full name in her Sahajan language is pronounced Kiriskra. She is a
Kiriskra.
priestess of Sekola. But I think colloquially, like she can be called Kir.
Yeah.
Here.
Here.
That's easier for me
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
say and remember. Kier.
That's-
I like it.
So we thought it was her the first time because the cannon happened shortly after she came aboard. But we
Right.
figured out that just does not make sense for her. But then this happened again. Could it be somebody who is mad that she is aboard?
It could be somebody who's mad that she's aboard. It could be somebody on the ship that we hired that just waited until there was a person to scapegoat.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a pinning on her at this point.
I mean, we have that drow person down below. We have all these people on this ship that we don't really know. We hired them.
Drow's tied up, right?
He is in the brig. He's in a cell of some sort.
Okay, okay.
That doesn't mean that he hasn't convinced somebody on the crew that we're doing something wrong. He still has a mouth.
Are we keeping Kier again?
She
in the
she
bilge,
like
like
hangs
the
out
bilge.
in the bilge because she needs to be like
Wet.
Moist.
amphibious.
Don't say that
yeah.
word. I hate you. I know we're almost to Naporia, and everyone wants to get off the ship. I think we need to figure this out. If we can before we get to Naporia, but if we can't, we need to figure it out before we get back on the ship or before we leave Naporia to go to Terra Libra. If possible. And we cannot have anyone on this ship get back on this ship once we're back until we know who's done this and handle them. I'm not
We
setting
know-
sail with anybody like this again.
Rowan, does anyone else go down there and visit?
Grohl said I'm the only one who visits him, which, by the way, guys, what the hell?
Grohl, not Grohl. I'm talking about Kier. Does anybody go down there?
I don't think anybody goes down there because nobody trusts the person that says they're gonna kill us all when they can. They just
Giving
accept
her-
that we've brought her on.
You guys do know that not Movor.
She followed
there-
him.
The
Like,
other
Followed-
work-
Macraw.
McCraw
Macraw.
talks to her.
So he might know. If Nimue, if you want to check on with him, but
I could.
my problem is this: it happened I believe.
You
Time
did not
check.
have the orcs on your boat.
We did not have
for-
the
We did not
orcs.
have the
for
orcs,
a
no.
sabotage. No.
So it's not the orcs, and it's probably not Kier, because she'll just stab us in our faces.
Yeah, I've been giving her space for that reason.
Yeah, but then
Is-
don't you think she would enjoy making
No.
our lives miserable though?
No,
Not if
I think
she
she's vengeful,
can't-
not petty.
Yeah.
She would rather relish the taste of our blood than just
Watch
our
us starve.
suffering alone.
I think there's somebody on the ship, and I hate to say it's somebody on the crew, that we've hired. That we let have free run of this ship.
Yeah.
That, like, okay, Grohl's the only one who's really in the galley, but when he goes to bed, we don't lock it.
If we lock the galley, they'll just go somewhere else.
Exactly. I mean, they started with a cannon. Anyone can go near the cannons.
We can't.
But it's somebody who... No one's gonna suspect any of the others because we all have the trust of, hey, we're on a ship together, let's not screw it up. But I don't accept that anymore. Because at the end of the day, once it was somebody's leg, and now it's the food, but we're still within eye line of Safe Harbor where we can restock and be okay. Next time we're not gonna get this lucky. I don't know how you guys want to handle this.
Boy.
Me personally, I just want to go hold my sword to everyone's throat, but that probably isn't very diplomatic, and it's probably not the best way to get actual answers. So we need to look at our crew.
I wish
We need
of
to
my
figure
other
it out.
powers were.
There are things that I can do to help, but I don't think that this is something that I can just do by myself.
What do you mean?
I mean, I can turn into something small and walk around the ship at night, but then I will be very tired the next day if we have to go do something, and I'm the only one who's been patrolling as, like, a spider.
Yeah, I don't think that's A, fair to you, and or B, sustainable at all. Not even for the rest of the day.
I can purify the food and drink, but not today, though. So I can fix that in the morning.
Oh, that would be good.
And that's good to know, but that doesn't...
I can show you how to do it, Rowan. I think you could do it.
Take a look later, yeah, tomorrow.
I'm pretty confident that I could get information that we need, but it would be... We would have to narrow it down in some way first.
And I look at Captain, I say, you have the list of everyone we've hired, because everyone, to whatever extent they could, sign, but we also wrote their names down. The names that I know off the top of my head, I don't think... I can't think of a single person I would say would be doing this. My suspicions are probably more with... She just kind of like stops and thinks for a minute. She just kind of says like, it's somebody none of us have connected to, and it's somebody that none of us like vetted before we brought them on the ship. Like, we did our interviews, but some of them were from the Barjack with us. Some of them were from, you know, from Glasgow that we hired. And I would hope that anyone on Glasgow that gave two craps about any of us would have said, don't hire so-and-so. But we don't know. For all we know, this is somebody who doesn't like one of us in particular and is just messing with one of us, and it's not against the whole crew.
I mean, out of character, Anna, beside Anna, you say woman may stab a bitch.
I don't like her because of she's from where Rowan's from, and that's why I don't like her. It's just it's I hate home feeling. It's not really anything obvious yet.
Do you think, like this, how you can layer faces of other people? Do you think it's something you could do to try to find out information, and then perhaps I can try to watch people's movements around the deck? Maybe someone else can do that too, but maybe just asking if the people who are good at... I don't like to ask questions. I'm not good at it. But
I'm
other
pretty
people...
good at being stealthy. I don't mind giving up sleep to do it.
And I can ask questions. I mean, I can't always read everybody, but I can be moderately persuasive.
I don't think they're going to...
I don't know.
It's going to be somewhere else next, and it's probably not going to be immediately after.
Well, and the thing too is we're going to Naporia, and then we're leaving
Alright.
Leora, and we're leaving the ship at Naporia. We're leaving the crew at Naporia. I don't want anything to happen on Naporia.
I mean, we could take all the people that we haven't vetted as, like, completely out and put them in a room and tell them they can't leave until we know who the fuck did it.
Someone is definitely trying to slow us down. I mean, it has to be somebody that knows what we're up to and is trying to slow us down.
If we can... Thixus, you said there was something you might be able to do if we had a short list. How short of a
Yeah.
list?
If you could narrow it down to 3.
That's a pretty short list.
If we all agree that Kira isn't on the list, that's one name we don't have to deal with.
And the orcs.
And the orcs we don't have to deal with because they weren't here for the first part. It's...
Would it be safe to say that that's probably somebody who knows what our schedules are and is working around that?
That can
Somebody who has
Everyone-
been on the night shift?
Do we know-
Might be someone on the night shift.
Do we know who was up or potentially awake last night when Grohl went to bed?
Oh, we could ask Tea-Kettle. Tea-Kettle might see shit. Everyone ignores her.
Kettle knows everything.
She knows everything. She's so unassuming.
I'm going to then just... I'm gonna step away from the door really quick, and I'm gonna say to Thixus, to him, but like everyone can hear me, but very quietly, say, I want to trust Naporia, but we don't know him very well either, or them very well either. And I have
What
them
was
standing
the-
outside the door, but I don't.
This is going to be out of game, but who do you guys remember the bookkeeper that we saved?
Aora?
Or
Vesha?
Vesha, not
Is it
currently on the
Aora
ship.
Fish?
She's
not
on
currently
Naporia.
with
She's on Naporia waiting for us right now.
Naporia. Okay,
He also
got it.
wasn't on the ship when the cannon thing happened.
Correct.
We're on the ship, okay.
Right.
Nope.
It's a crew member at this point.
Yeah, and it's someone that's not on the ship because we have a like a good portion of the crew is on Naporia.
Well, I think didn't you say that the fish would have had to have been the last day or so? Was that what the information that we got?
So yeah.
Grohl believes like this was done, you know, over a period of time, and you know, and would have took, you know, was done without having been noticed, and kind of took some time to brew to like the full blown spoilage of your food.
I mean, this. Yeah, the stores.
I mean,
all-
should I just go ask Tea Kettle really fast if she saw anything last night? Anybody go down there, or
Just anyone around the food other than Grohl in general. I mean, no one helps him, so no one has a need. Start
does Girl
there.
normally keep all the supplies locked, or is it?
No.
No.
Because we don't. It's not like, haha, you can't have food on this ship. It's
Yeah.
don't touch my stuff if I have to prepare a meal with you. But like, you can go in and grab fruit and things you need if you're, especially if you're on night shift and Grohl's sleeping and there's no one there to cook you anything. I think we should get Tea Kettle and ask her, and then we have to come up with a list of people to check on. I have not so nice ways of maybe making somebody talk, but maybe we should stall that till the end. I don't want to leave whoever this is on Naporia. I want it handled before we get off the ship.
I agree with that.
Can I just like real? Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead, because Matt's gonna have to respond to me.
Okay. No, I'll just probably wink to Rowan and also say that I'm not sure my ways of getting information are exactly legitimate either. But I'll go talk to Tea Kettle, and I'll just start moving away.
Go get Tea Kettle, yeah.
So you open the door, you leave. Apora Dazan is like on the other side of the door, like 3 or 4 feet ahead of it, just sort of like standing with their back to the door, like doing as Rowan asked, like making sure nobody's like coming close to the door and listening in or anything like that. You like run out to go find Tea Kettle. They sort of like look to you and give you just like a nod and just if you don't give them any specific instruction or anything like that, they like just assume like I'm gonna keep doing what I was told to do and stand where they are. So you're able to like run past them. And
Tap
for
them on the
group.
shoulder. You're doing a great job, and then move back.
And what was
what
your thing there, Sela? As so Thexus runs off, you go to find Tea Kettle. We'll work off that in a second. That's not a problem.
Yeah, like partway through that conversation, could I have cast detect magic?
Yeah.
I just want to like see. I just want to like vibe check the space.
Good idea.
Nothing.
Like, is there something like
nothing,
an eyeball
yeah, nothing
watching
that,
us?
like, I assume there was magic shit, but I'm not gonna like. I don't know what all magic shit might be in the immediate vicinity based on like
Not unexpected.
nothing that you don't.
magic shit.
Yeah, no like surprise magic shit is in the area.
Okay. That's all I needed to know.
Okay. So Thexus has like run out of the room.
An issue with nylon?
No.
Oh,
Nyland?
was that the guy that had the tattoo? Or no,
He
he
was
saw
brand
the
that he is hiding.
the
Nyland
Nyland
brand.
had the
Never.
brand he was hiding, and he said it was because he saw the hangman's symbol on the flag, because he's almost hanged in the
Yes.
Empire. But we
You
kind of
discovered
just
that
took
he's
it
a
at face
convicted
value,
murderer.
and he trusted
In
us
the
with
Empire.
that. I don't necessarily want to like have drinks with the guy, but I don't necessarily have issue with him.
Who's Rochelle?
Rochelle Parrish is the person whose leg got crushed by the cannon.
Okay.
I mean, she'd be pretty dumb to do that to herself, but maybe that's
I
what throws
mean-
off.
Also, not currently on the boat because her leg is smashed. She is
Oh, yeah,
in
we-
Naporia.
Oh, right. Okay, never mind. Alright, I'm just going through the list of
Yeah,
people's names.
so-
I'm like, I don't know who these people are. Thank you.
But we have Melted Snow, Thea Trugust, Roger Keenseeker, Nyland, Plume of Smoke, Mayweather Crook, and Vadric Anna Cromwell on board.
Yeah, I mean, you have in total there are about, like, not including you guys, there's about 30 people on the boat right now. I guess not including you guys, and I don't remember if I included the orcs in that count or not when I did it a second ago. But there's a handful of people. Like, there's still people that we have not like discussed in.
Oh, okay.
And one of them's a sussy little baka.
Yeah.
One or more.
Oh my god, yeah, it could be more than one.
So are you bringing Apora Dazan in here to like explain to them at any point? You said you were like gonna bring them in.
Well, I want to talk to Tea Kettle first, and then we can bring Apora in.
Okay.
As long as everyone agrees we can trust Apora.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't trust Naporia, but we can trust them selectively.
Alright, so Flexus, you're able to easily just climb up into the crow's nest. Tea Kettle is up there as usual. Tea Kettle, as you like climb up in, Tea Kettle goes, "Hello!"
Hi there, Tea Kettle. How are you?
Fair weather.
Yeah, it is pretty nice. Hey, last night, did you notice anyone moving around the deck suspiciously or anything strange?
Tea Kettle kind of like thinks for a
Or
minute.
even the night before that?
Tea Kettle sort of like shrugs, and seems to like. I think she probably is like. And then she makes a sort of like knocking on wood sound, and in like a perfect Sela, she goes like, "Captain, I'm going to come into your cabin now," and like imitates the like that like Sela went back to Murderbeard's cabin late at night after everybody was asleep. But I think that's the only I think that's all she comes up with is like anybody doing anything sussy.
Thanks is not.
Not Texas is defused!
Sassy little backup!
It's not.
Night visits to the cabin!
The plot twist.
Well, that's awfully strange. Well, I'll just. Anyone other than.
Tea kettle goes.
Get her, tea kettle!
I guess what I'm asking, Tea Kettle, did you see anyone go for the kitchen, in or out of the kitchen?
Tea kettle, kind of like thinks. She says, interesting question. And she goes, like puts her hand on your shoulder and goes, friend Thixus, in a approximation of Movor.
You saw Movar go into the kitchen?
She is.
You saw Movar go into the kitchen, and you saw Sela knock on Captain's door and go inside? Interesting. And did you see... So you saw Movar go into the kitchen?
Lots of times.
Lots of times.
She goes like pats her belly.
Right. Yes, he does get very hungry. So that doesn't make any sense. Why would he want to ruin the food that he enjoys so much? Tea Kettle, let me ask you this. Is there anyone on this ship right now that you... I better rephrase that. I'm gonna use a word that that one of my friends likes to use. Is there someone that gives you a bad vibe?
She immediately goes like, in a perfectly accurate approximation of the like guttural noises that Kier makes.
Right. I get it, yes. I agree, 100%. Well, Tea Kettle, be on the lookout. If you see anything... I think we've told you this probably like 4 times in the last 2 days, but be on the lookout for anything very strange. Anybody's trying to sabotage any of our supplies, any of our weapons, any of our sails or equipment on the ship, just come and let one of us know, or come run and let the captain know right away.
I've got one job on this tab. I have a particular set of skills. Cape and all that.
That's why we love you, Tea Kettle. And then I'm gonna go make my way down.
Why you're the queen goddess boat baby.
And I'm just gonna go right back to Captain's quarters.
Naporia has not moved since you left, just nods at you again as you go back in the door.
Tap on the shoulder. You're doing a fine job. So Tea Kettle did mention that Movar made several trips to the kitchen, but Movar does eat a lot.
Has anyone seen him today?
Have any of us seen him today? DM?
No.
Maybe we should go check on him.
I'm gonna go to his quarters. I'm out. I'm already walking out the door.
Well, okay. I will follow, I guess.
And another note, Tea Kettle does not like Kier down below.
Nobody likes Kier, and I just keep walking.
Okay, are all of you walking out at this point?
Yeah, I think I would follow Rowan.
I am going to.
Telepora, like, hold that thought. We'll be right back.
They're like, am I to keep guarding the door? I'm unclear on what's happening.
I mean, we'll hang around. We'll find you when we need you. You're good, though. Thanks.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
I go to where the crew sleeps. And
Okay, you head below. So, Mover doesn't have a cabin so much as he's in like the common bunk area. You go down there. You do find him in like the hammock that he sleeps in down below. And as you roll up on him, you guys can make a perception check.
Oh yeah.
18.
18, 19, 20. 21.
I also rolled a 19.
17.
16.
Okay.
Damn, I rolled the lowest.
Well, that's it. Everybody was high enough. As you guys kind of like roll up as a group on Movor, he's in his hammock, and he's sort of like curled inward a little bit, and he's got his hands folded across him, and he's kind of going like,
Oh.
just like sort of quietly like making like I have a tummy ache noises.
You don't look so good, Movar.
Is anyone else around right now down here? Or is it just Movar?
Probably there are other like a handful of other, like the like night shift of the crew are probably sleeping and scattered throughout some hammocks in here. So there's probably 3 or 4 other people down here.
Do we want to gather the night shift crew as well?
Do they look sick as well, or is it just Movar?
No, just Movar looks sick. That you get.
But they could have been in there when.
If you want, I will mentally message Rowan. I could have this interrogation via mental connection. You ask me the questions, and I ask him, and we keep it hush-hush unless you want everybody to know.
No, let's keep it hush-hush.
Okay. I will mentally connect with Movar.
Okay. So you like sort of like tap into his mind. You immediately hear like, I feel bad.
Oh, honey. Movar, I know you feel really bad right now, but I need to ask you some questions, okay? It's really important.
He says, okay, ask her and I will answer.
You just need to think. You don't need to talk. Don't open your mouth. Keep that stuff in.
Okay, good.
I will,
I look back at Rowan, connect with her.
To Nimue, I will say, tell him that I can make him feel better, but he needs to tell me what happened first. And what I want to know is, was he the only one that went to the kitchens last night that he knows of?
I will
see anybody else down there?
I will switch to Movar and ask him everything Rowan's asking me.
So the questions for him was to tell him
that I can make him feel better, but I need
to
to know what happened first.
You know what
Kind of
happened.
like withholding
And
the
did
help.
he see anybody else near the kitchens?
Yes.
Anybody else near the kitchens?
Last night.
Last night.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh boy.
Did you get advantage because I'm offering help to make him feel better?
I think you get a straight roll because I think yes, you would get advantage because you are offering to help, but you would otherwise get disadvantage because his recollection of like the specifics that you're trying to find are gonna be clouded by the fact that he's trying not to vomit all over the place.
Okay. Not bad. My persuasion is a 0, so that's a flat 14.
Oh, okay. I was like, you rolled a 0 persuasion.
No.
So 14.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, my modifier is 0.
With a 14, he says, when I was finishing shift last night, I went to the galley because I sometimes like to eat night jerky.
Oh, Movar.
I call it late dinner, early breakfast. It is jerky that I like to eat before I go to bed.
I ate it, and I thought it did not smell so good, but I figured...
You ate the thing anyway.
He says maybe Grohl using new spices, I thought. Now I feel like the insides of me are dead.
Okay, focus. Do you remember seeing anyone else down there with you? Or any other night?
No, I did not see anyone. I remember thinking a barrel that had the rations seemed a little wobbly, but I didn't think anything of it.
Wobbly.
Yes.
Like something was in there, or like it was empty?
No, not good barrel, like it.
I step back. Everyone step back.
Like it loose, bindings loose.
Right. I'll put out, but like, Hiron, this might be easier if he didn't feel like shit.
Probably. I'm going to crouch down, and I'm going to cast Lesser Restoration. Try to clear out whatever's happening in his.
Does Lesser Restoration handle poisoning?
Yep.
I
It
think
says
so, yeah.
Yes, so then he is
blind.
cured. You cast this spell, and he goes it's an enormous burp, and he goes,
Okay, feel better.
All right, let's try this one more time. I can like with this fine.
This is
Explain the wobbly barrel. It was hard for me to understand what you were saying because you were burping so much in your mind.
yes. I was so sick to my stomach I had mind burps. This is the barrel, the bindings of
It's like dream hiccups.
yeah.
The bindings of the barrel. He says barrel is wood, boards, and is metal around. He says seemed like not tight. He says I just think maybe is not well-made barrel or his old barrel, but that is only thing different that I noticed about in the galley.
What about going down to the galleon hallways or whatever? Did you see anyone around that's not usually up or that is often up?
He shakes his head. He says, just normal people on night watch.
I will translate that to Rowan. Give her the update. Said there's a loose barrel, which he found weird, but he didn't see anybody other than the night shift.
Ask him if at any point during night shift, since he usually is on it, or at least gets up for a late night snack, if at any point in any night ever he's seen Anna Cromwell up.
I will ask him that question.
So I mean, what I will say, rather than like having you ask him that question, is that typically, like, Anna Cromwell is sort of like running things on the night shift. Like, you guys theoretically are like the day shift of the boat, but like you guys are gone a lot, so Apora Dazan tends to be like up during the day running things. Anna Cromwell, you would know, has taken to being like as like the sort of next ranking officer, has taken to like being in charge of things during the night hours.
Okay,
so like
scratch that.
Yes, he definitely has seen her, like, because she would be like up probably on like the Stern Castle or like around the deck, just like doing
Has he
stuff.
ever noticed that she was missing?
He has not.
the deck.
All right, let's. I don't know this, but like, is there anyone on the night shift that gives you like bad vibes?
He says.
Just gut instinct on people.
He says, I think Mitford Gale no like orcs. He says, lots of people no like orcs though, so...
Doesn't like orcs in the sense that maybe he'd be upset that we were having a crew of some orcs and half-orcs, and that we now have brought on more orcs onto the ship to help them.
He kind of like.
How many
That's
other people
philosophical
know?
question of a level that Movor not really contemplate.
Movor, who else knows that you go for midnight snacks?
He says,
I think the bird that lives in the top of the ship.
Yeah.
She knows everything.
She knows everything, yeah.
he says,
is not really secret.
He says,
I know really sneak in. So I think very big, not good for sneak.
Yeah, you're right, alright. Just checking. And what was the person's name again?
he said he thinks
like
Mitford Gale.
Mitford
Is
Gale.
one of your crew members. He thinks is like not a fan of orcs.
I'll bring that up. I'll kind of like give the TDLDR to each of my crew members so they're not just standing there in silence wondering what the fuck's going on. In the meantime, Mavor, don't go back to the galley until we've restocked at Naporia. Okay?
He says, okay. I had been thinking about maybe getting more jerky, but
Nope.
No, no.
I
Going to make you sick again, sir.
I pat him on the shoulder and I just say, how about, because everyone probably knows that you aren't feeling well, you just stay down here and keep pretending that you don't feel well.
Yeah, take the day off. It was a lot.
He says,
Rest, recover, and then
I work night shift, so I always have day
Well,
off, but
take the
this-
night off. You get a sick
Stay
day,
here.
okay? You get a sick night.
stay here for now.
PTO policy on Grimm's Folly.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
desirable.
Yeah.
Full time off. We are giving you paid time off. You're fine.
He says, I will do this.
Although you're gonna need to make sure you submit that with Cheryl in HR.
Yeah, you can get the paperwork in captain's
Give me a
quarters.
second to replace the name of one of your crew members with Cheryl in HR.
God.
Okay.
You hadn't turned in your paperwork.
I look at the group and I just kind of motion like back and kind of like, let's go back to the captain's quarters kind of motion. 'Cause I still want privacy.
Head back. Aporidazon is still standing in front of the door, like, and now, and he just keeps standing here.
Out on the shoulder. You're doing a great job.
I look at as soon as we get into the captain's quarters, I will motion kind of back over my shoulder towards Apora and like thoughts.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just figure
Trust.
it out.
Collectively, yes.
We have
trust.
we have to trust.
I will.
If
Stick
not,
my
we
head
kill
out.
a bitch. It's fine.
It's fine.
Did Rowan, did you get to a chance to like fully investigate the kitchen?
I didn't look
Like, in
around
depth?
because it smelled horrible, and there was nothing to see other than everything was spoiled, as far as I could tell.
But
I'm also
no
not
one-
really good at finding things like that. I'm not. That's not me.
Is it contained? Like no one's going in and out right now?
Grohl's standing outside of it and has locked it, and I told everyone to tell him to tell everyone who comes looking for food to say, "Screw you, go find Rowan if you have a problem with it."
So I guess we could do an investigation, but let's at least let the Pura in on the
Let's tell
information.
Apora what's happening,
then we can go
see
check
what they
out.
think.
check out what's going on.
I'll stick my head out and say, Naporia, sorry about that. We had to go check something first, but come in.
Pora comes in and immediately, like once the door closes behind them, is like, "What is the problem with the galley?"
Did anyone tell you there's a problem with the galley?
Gruul came onto the deck and talked to you, and then you both went in there. And
Okay,
then
I
you
thought you
left,
said he came on
and
the
he's
deck
been
of the
standing
running around.
guard since then. And then you
Fair.
all came in here and talked for 15 minutes. And then you went down below deck and came back up. And Gruul has been telling people to fuck off and talk to Rowan for the last 25 minutes.
And yet no one's come to talk to me. Anyway.
Before Rowan does tell Apora what's going on, I would like to subtly try and mind connect with them and see if I can I know I don't have detect thoughts, but I would like to try and use it if he has an immediate thought upon hearing
okay.
what Rowan says.
So, sure, you can do that.
Sure. Okay.
So you do this as Rowan is about to spill beans.
I just tell Apora all of the food and water spoiled.
And so you
Second
mind link.
sabotage we've had.
Make a perception check, Nimue. It's called actually an insight check. I think is more appropriate.
Even better. I'll take that. Dirty 20.
You connect with the Poro Dazan's mind as Rowan delivers this information, and you hear like the sound of like wind sweeping across a desolate plain, as their mind is just a completely neutral blank slate. And a few moments later, they sort of take this information in, and Apora says, "I see. Then perhaps it would be wise to investigate the galley and the hold, and to do so before we make landfall. If someone is sabotaging the ship among the crew, it would be wise to discover them before they have an opportunity to disembark at the next port."
No one's getting off this ship before we figure this out.
Yep.
What do you need from me?
How good that you are at investigating shit. Can you find shit that people don't normally find?
I am extremely perceptive.
Perfect! Oh, Murderbeard and Thyxus? You guys are pretty good at this shit, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind taking a look at that barrel Novar was talking about.
If you guys go below, I'll stay on top deck and keep an eye on things up here since Apora's going with you, and just stay up here.
Okay, so some of you are going to investigate
Trip to the galley!
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so
Go
You
to
guys
the galley too.
so everybody who's going to the galley and would like to make an investigation check, you can, and I will roll for Apora as you have asked them to come with you.
Wait, who's going to the galley, guys?
Stay up top.
Oh, wait, Thyxus is going to the galley?
One but
Thyxus,
me is going to the
Murderbeard.
galley.
Nimue
I'm
and
pretty-
Apora, I believe.
I'm pretty
Hey,
good at investigating.
Well,
so I
hold
would
on,
go
hold on.
investigate.
Hey, Matt, can I give my natural 20 that I got from chat today to Thyxus for an investigation check?
Sure.
There you go, Thyxus.
Ooh.
You get a nat
You're
20.
I'm
Happy
staying up,
birthday.
by the way. Yeah, happy birthday!
Thanks.
So nat 20 on investigation check would give me a 26.
Damn.
Okay. So you get 26. Apora rolls pretty well as well. I don't know what the rest of you guys roll, but I think in the light of the nat 20 usage, here's what you collectively discover, and you guys can decide who sees what and how this all shakes out. You go into the galley, and you investigate the food, the food supplies and the water barrels and stuff in there. And what you find is all of the water barrels bear signs. You know how barrels have like that like hole in them with a cork. They all show signs. There's like little like scrape, scuff marks around these barrels, around all of the barrels. Some of them you see are like kind of wider and fatter and more like rough, as if something like kind of duller was like scrape, like worked around this like opening. And then you see markings, like some of it is like on top of those other ones as if they're like fresher. You see markings that are much more like narrow and like gouged and dug, as if like something then like sharper, like a knife or something, was like dug in and like wrenched into this, you know, these barrels. And you can pretty safely assume that like it was by means of this sort of like scritching and prying and scraping that like they were opened, and like the rotten fish and stuff were like put into them, and then they were sealed back up. With the natural 20, the other piece of like critical information that you guys find within this room is that in like the corner behind like the supply shelf, there is a piece of like decking, a piece of floorboard about 4 inches in diameter, where like the decking has been like shaved, chipped, pried, like scraped away, leaving like a small hole that leads like to the deck below.
How big is that?
4 or 5 inches, like.
Oh my god! So it's like a tiny little opening.
Yeah.
What the?
Like big enough for like a, you know, like something the size of like a rat.
Yeah. Who has a pet? Who literally can be that small except for me? With the shit.
And you
What's
know that like below the galley is like the hold.
The hold? Where we're keeping the mercenary?
Where like and probably like the brig is down there somewhere, but this is where like all of your like ammunition, supplies,
storage hold. Okay.
the hold of your ship.
So I know this could be anything, but these really do look like scratch marks to me, like claws.
This is very. I don't know what to think.
I'm telling you, I think it's her.
But then what is the hole in the floor? She can't fit through that.
But doesn't she practice some sort of... Isn't she some type of... Does she have some type of magical or shamanistic abilities or something like that? Didn't we know this from...
I mean, yes, she follows a god and may have power from that god, but I don't know that we've seen the extent of what she might be capable of.
So
The
it is
bilge is like below the floor
The
that the
bilge
hold
is like
is
another
on,
level
right?
down. Yes. Accessed
That
by like
doesn't
a
mean-
hatch and trapdoor.
Oh my god, okay. We need to go look and see if there's a hole in the floor in the hold. We need to go see if she tunnel it.
So there's a hole here, right?
Yes.
How big is the hole? All right, I've got an idea. I snap my fingers and I summon Hamlet,
Okay.
and I'm gonna essentially warg into Hamlet and follow this hole.
Okay. So Hamlet like, and he runs down, skitters down your arm, skitters across this hole, kind of like looks at you, he's like, and he sort of like squiggles his way down into this hole. So go ahead and make a, you can make an investigation check with Hamlet.
Should I use Since am I using
Just
Murderbeard's stats?
just so we don't have to spend the time dicking around with it. Just
I
use
am like
just use
using my
Murderbeard's
own
investigations.
eyeballs.
Yeah, use your own investigation.
That's much better. That is a 19.
19.
No, 18. Sorry.
18. So you find that you are now below the hold. You are like Hamlet kind of squeezes through, and is now in the hold where like the barrels of supplies that are food supplies that are not in the the main part of the hold. With an 18, he can hear. He hears like some like. This is not going to come through on stream, but he hears like something scraping.
Do I know what direction it's coming from?
From where Hamlet is, it is coming from over near, like another bundled, set up, like and tied down parcel of like supplies, that you through Hamlet's eyes can recognize as your like black powder supplies. Your ship's ammunition.
Go over there as a monkey.
Okay, make another investigation check.
It's only a 15.
Wait, no, hold on. Before you say it, listen, I got a luck point. Take my luck point.
Okay.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay, so what is that?
You get to roll another and take the higher of the two.
Okay. The 15 was higher.
Damn,
okay. It's unfortunately not going to be high enough. Give me 1 second. I have to look this
Use
up,
inspiration on top of it.
No, you already got your advantage. Unfortunately, you can't double advantage yourself. Okay, unfortunately, that is not going to be high enough to see what happens ahead of time here. Hang on a second.
Bye, Hamlet. You're about to get fucking ganked.
Rip.
I have the stats here because I don't think you have it up. Hamlet's armor class is 13. He has 7 hit points. So with a 16, that is going to be a hit.
Oh my god.
And Hamlet, the last thing you see through Hamlet is the blade of a small knife come out from in between the netting of the rigging of the barrel and like go into Hamlet's like monkey heart, and he goes like, ah! And he really dramatically he like okay, you're not going and he dies and he poofs out of existence. Something hiding in the powder kegs down below has stabbed him.
So, I guess there's the moment. I guess because like Murderbeard's eyes like sort of glaze over because like I can't see or talk during that. Like Murderbeard comes back to normal, and then there's a pause and this here. My baby boy! and then Murderbeard like takes off running.
All right, Murderbeard runs out of the galley.
Oh my god. I look at Thixus and I say, go get Rowan, and then I turn into a spider and I'm going down the hole next,
Okay.
because if they stab me, then they're gonna have a huge problem.
So you go down the hole.
It's gonna tear off then, headed for Rowan.
So as a spider, it's probably going to take you about as long as it will take the rest of them to like run the rest of the way down, because you have to get down and then like across the hold to where Hamlet had moved.
Yeah, but I have
So,
a climb speed.
Is
so
everybody
I'm
like? Are
upside
you all
down.
sort of running? Is that what's happening here? Is everybody not coming?
No,
Naporia is going to follow.
yeah,
Murderbeard.
yeah.
I'm gonna point up and use my cantrip message to Rowan and say, "We've got company. Get down here."
So you guys all, everybody
start running up the
runs
stairs.
down.
I'm
so-
sure I'll run into them in the
Murderbeard's
hallways as
leaving
they're
from
leaving the
where she
leaving the
was.
galley, and Like, I'll follow them. I'll follow the
Okay.
noise.
So you guys all run downstairs. Spider seal up.
We follow Murderbird's screams of my baby boy.
Follow Murderbeard. So as you guys rush into the hold, you all converge on where Murderbeard is running towards this strapped down bundle of like powder kegs. You guys can may everybody make a perception check.
Dirty
18.
20.
Natural 20 for a 21.
Ooh.
A natural 20, but it's a -1, so it's a 19.
It doesn't matter. Natural 20 is a natural 20.
18.
Okay.
Okay. So all of you guys notice this. Oh, hang on, let me roll for report is on. Report gets an 18. All of you guys notice. You run down, and there is like a sort of like glittery dust in the like vaguely in the shape of a monkey on the floor where Hamlet sort of poofed into ethereal ectoplasm.
Buddy.
And standing above that, perched on one of the keg barrels, holding a paring knife, is a crab, and it's like.
No.
Is it the crab that we like told to like F off when we went looking for like the sharks in that cove or whatever the hell?
Oh my god, is this the fucking crab that was talking creepy to me and I was like, I don't like him?
It is a crab with a knife. It is currently menacing you guys with a knife.
What the fuck?
What the shit is happening right now?
I stab it. I'm done.
Oh my god, yeah.
Done.
You
Swipe.
see, you run up and you stab it.
Yeah.
Did we all
here.
just like? Did we all just like Office Space style, just like everybody
Yeah,
just like
just
stomp
beat down.
this crab?
That's how you guys are rolling in here. You can roll the hit.
Do we talk to it first and then curb stomp it?
It killed your baby boy. Do you want to talk?
I want to know why.
I'm
And then
gonna-
I want him to die.
I will mentally connect with the crab and be like, what the fuck, bro?
He goes, "Aha! My revenge is complete.
It is that crab. It's the same voice.
You thought that this was a lot less sad if Gilbert Gottfried hadn't died since we saw this character last. That's right. You took everything from me, and I swore my revenge. So I've been conducting sabotage, or, to be more precise, crabotage.
Like, fucking god.
Taste
what?
my fury.
Pause. Is this really just the damn crab that did all this? Because I'm about to lose my damn mind.
So was that just mentally to
Yeah,
Nimue? Is
Nimue
that...
heard that.
And Nimue will translate what the fuck is happening because Nimue's like, what the fuck is this shit? He keeps saying shit like this is his revenge.
Can I just go over and pick the crab up?
Yeah. Roll the hit.
Stinking crab.
You got GM inspo for the crabotage.
He wants
you.
to commit crabotage.
Is it just like a grapple? Like what am I?
Just make it like a grapple
Okay.
attack. So roll the hit.
18.
Yeah, you just pick him up. He's like trying to stab you with his like little knife. He's like, "Unhand me, you vile woman."
Translating for the crab.
Wait, does he talk out loud or does no one have to translate all of this?
You just hear like,
Okay.
I'm translating 100%.
I just hold the crab. I go, "Did you cut the cannon?"
Did you cut the cannon?
"Of course I did. Who do you think is responsible for your downfall? You giant dried out
I
sons
shake
of bitches."
I start shaking it.
Whoa.
Did you poison the food and the water?
Yes, an obviously brilliant stroke of genius upon my part. And for my final act. And you guys look, and there is a lit fuse in the powder kegs behind you.
God!
Oh my god.
Thaumaturgy, a little gust of wind to try to blow it out.
Roll d20.
Okay.
This thing blows up our ship, I swear. We're making stew with this damn thing.
D20. Oh boy, that's only a 5.
Michael!
With a five, you like, you sort of like gust of wind, and it just makes the fuse go like flare up and burn faster.
Wait, is the fuse on the ground?
No, it's been like wedged into one of the powder keg barrels.
I don't care. I'm going over and I'm grabbing. I don't care if it's on fire. I'm grabbing the fuse
Yeah,
and I'm
grab it.
cutting it.
Make a dexterity check.
I'm throwing the crab to Nimue at this point, and I'm gonna cut the damn fuse.
I'm not a football. Respect my bodily autonomy.
No, you're
you
an
throw
ass.
him- throw him
Um,
in
I'm
the-
gonna shake him.
Make a dexterity check.
17.
Yeah, you just like you just pull it out.
I'm okay.
So disappointed in
Oh,
you
the
right now.
culmination of weeks of work.
No, we don't
foiled
trust
in an
you.
instant.
Guys, check the powder. Check it all. I'm checking all these damn things
Yeah.
for fuses.
Climbing
Thanks will
around.
help making sure there's no more fuses.
Go ahead,
He
make,
connect all of these things
Is
to
this-
blow.
make an investigation check, please.
Oh,
For checking.
I'm just
the
gonna stand here and hold him.
Yeah, he's like
Nice.
he's like
That's an
pinching you,
11?
but it doesn't really hurt very much because he's just a crab.
Can I take his knife away? I don't know if it dropped, but I'm gonna
Make
take
a,
the knife away.
Make a strength check.
I got a 16 to look for more flames.
19 to check for more flames.
Very strong. I rolled a 4 minus 1.
You got a 3.
Yeah.
You take the knife away from him immediately because he's
Oh
grabbed.
shit! All right.
He's like, take it from him.
Are there more flames with our check?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna look at the whole group really quick. Guys, is it stupid of me to waste a really nice spell on this? I don't know if I trust that this is just the crab. I might be paranoid at this point.
I shrug my little spider shoulders at you.
Actually, you know what? I have a better idea. I'm gonna go out of the door, and I'm just gonna yell up for Grohl to come down and bring his knives.
Grohl comes down with a bunch of knives. He's like,
Well, don't know what you needed these for, but here I've got my.
unfurls like a big chef's thing of knives.
I've brought
I
them.
point at the crab.
He said, "Oh, crab." He said, "Hey, mate, it's just one crab. It's not much of a meal for nobody."
I know, but you're our chef. You can turn him into soup, can't you?
But yeah, again, not much of a soup. There's one crab, but yeah.
I know. He is apparently
Probably
the
not much of a
thing that
soup.
messed with the food and stabbed Murderbeard's baby boy monkey and was about to light the powder kegs on fire.
Rowan, if I might make a suggestion,
Yes.
Ruby will turn to like a random crewman who's like the closest brother, like, you load a cannon.
Aye, Captain.
Oh.
I load a cannon.
Oh, you're gonna go for a fun ride, buddy.
I'm not wasting a spell then. We're all just like, this is the crab. Can I insight check the crab?
Yeah,
I
guess.
am having such a hard
teacher.
time believing all of this problems is from my damn crab.
Wait, hold up. Here's the thing though. Can I also insight check the crab, but coming from the position of I'm currently a spider, however, for books have speech of beast and leaf, and I can speak to all animals.
Ooh, and I can
I
also
can't
cast speak with
understand-
animals.
I can't understand them back, but I'm like, I know how to talk. I had to talk to this crab before, and he was
It's
an
a fellow-
asshole.
It's a fellow arachnid.
So can I also insight check this crab?
Yeah.
I got an 18 for insight checking the crab to find out if this is actually all the crab and there's not like a person running around our ship.
I got a 17 to insight check the crab.
This crab has definitely sworn a blood feud upon all of you, and all of the sabotage that has occurred thus far is definitely executable by a crab with crab abilities.
Oh my god. Okay, I come out of spider and I'm like, guys, just so you know, crabs are like the pinnacle, like that is the ultimate life form. Everything eventually becomes them.
I
course
didn't
I did it.
understand that lady back, but it sounded like I agreed with her.
Here, wait, hold on.
Wait, I have another suggestion. Because of this little crustacean,
Mm.
we accused Kira Skra of
We
doing
did.
something.
That's
I think
fucked
we
up,
owe
man.
her a snack. Do you think she eats crab?
Bad.
If she doesn't, then we can throw him out in the cannon.
Sure. Let's at least give her the option if she's like, hungry or something.
Considering we don't have a lot of food on board and we're kind of mean to her because of this little shithead.
Yeah, Shithead, you hear that? We have no food because of you, so now you are going to be the food.
Here, wait, I can translate
But she
again.
also
I
hates us.
hope you choke.
But she also hates us. What if she allies herself with the crab?
She's still
We
gonna
can
eat
watch
him.
her kill it.
Unstoppable.
Wants
That
us
might
to
stop her
choke.
from eating.
He said he wants us to choke.
Okay, I'm opening the hatch.
Okay.
You open the hatch, and I guess you're going down into the bilge.
It's just a suggestion. We can also just throw him out of the can.
I think we should give him to Kiriskra. Also, as Nimue walks by holding him, I curse his mother and his whole lineage in crab.
Rapidly clicking back at you.
We go see Kira's girl.
So you go down. She's down.
I
like,
don't
praying
speak
at the-
crab, but I know a yo mama joke when I hear one.
She's praying at the little like shrine she has built down in the bilge, and she turns, and as you guys come in, she says,
A momentous occasion if you will come down to see me. Something you wish to accuse me of.
Wish to apologize for? Peace offering? Do you like crab? Are you hungry?
she like looks, and she says,
What did you do to it?
Apparently we offended it, and he's the one that cut the rope. He's the one that's been fucking with our ship, not you. So, 100% my bad. Sorry for accusing you.
she goes,
I meant like, did you poison it? But what? What?
I will mind link because she probably like, God, there's gonna be a translation error here. I will mind link and explain the situation to her so she doesn't. It's probably gonna sound
okay,
crazy
you
regardless.
you fully explain the whole situation to her. She laughs for a while.
Good. Yes, laughing at our expense. We deserve that, 100%.
And she says, and as a peace offering, you have decided to allow me to consume the creature.
Yeah, he framed you.
She says, I care not about that. But if this tiny being has been able to make such fools of you, I will gladly absorb its power.
Absorb its power. Have at her. Have at her, bitch. Have all this power.
You give her the crab. and
Manifest that shit, girl.
She like takes it and she looks at the crab and she holds it like this and she says,
I respect you more
I will
than
translate.
I will ever respect any of them.
I translate to the crab for his final moments.
and the crab, you hear the crab in his mind. He says,
I accept that this is my fate, and I hope that my sustenance will allow you to kill them someday.
and then
I translate for her.
She just goes, yes, and she goes, and it's like, with her like sharp pincer, like shark teeth, it's like that "this kills the crab" meme where she just bites it and then she just sort of just like a bunch of like shell and stuff is just coming out.
This has been a very strange day.
I have this in our notes.
Yeah, you do.
I have to live with this memory of his voice in my head forever.
The way I started this because I told the crab to stop being creepy after he called me like toots or babe or something.
I don't blame you. He was a dick. Well, good news, silver lining, none of our crew are assholes. Yet.
Well, stab the damn bosun, Jesus. I just sit on a barrel.
Okay, so with that situation resolved, the remainder of your journey to Naporia is uneventful. You return to Naporia. You find everything there is as you left it, peaceful. They are making preparations in the event that the Armada like chooses to make an issue of them. They're not really they know they don't have any hope of like defending the island, but you kind of see like some of the island's like art and cultural like important stuff is being like kind of deconstructed and like taken and put elsewhere. They are preparing for the possibility of like being occupied. But you find everybody, intact the way that you left them there. You spend a couple of days, kind of on Naporia, able to make your rounds, say your goodbyes to the people that you know there. And you find out from your contact, the former Enclave head from Umyakdrai or Aveshta, that an envoy from Terra Libra is going to be arriving any day now,
Nice.
with means to teleport as many individuals back to Terra Libra within reason. They can probably take the whole crew of the Grimm's Folly if you wanted. They can't take like the entire population of Naporia, but they will be coming shortly. And when the designated like day and time arrives, you guys sort of gather in a pre-agreed upon location, out sort of in the valley between the two main towns, where a lot of their crops are grown, and where you see like a bumper crop is well on its way to being produced as a result of Seela's magic in the region.
Yeah.
And you enter in this area, and there's a small contingent of Naporians who are here as well. Nimue, your father is he is off to the side to observe this. The other leaders of the Naporian government and religious organizations are here, and you kind of just are hanging out, waiting. It's going to be any time, but you're not exactly sure when, until there is a sort of like fizzle in the air, and you see a blue sort of pinprick of light go around and form a circle, and just a opening in like the fabric of space opens up, and you are staring at like a circular ring that has no like depth or dimension, but as you look through it, you are looking not at like the other side of it, but you are looking at another place entirely, and you see the interior of like a massive high arched building, and out from the portal step three figures. Two of them are wearing like green and gold and blue vestments, the colors of the bookkeepers. And the third is wearing similar vestments, but where the first two on either side of this individual are a human and a half-elf. The third individual is, at first you kind of look at him and you see that it looks like a armored head to toe in like full like war gear, like knight has stepped through, like full like pauldrons, greaves, like full helm. But you look and you see that where like the eye holes for the helm would be are these two like perfectly round like luminescent sockets, and the joints in the armor don't have like chainmail or like a body underneath. They have this like complicated network of like cables and metal panels and tubes and things. It is a construct or like a golem of some sort, made entirely of like metal and strange materials and like wood and things. And these two sort of luminescent eyes kind of look at you, and they sort of like iris smaller in a way that sort of creates this effect where like the two, like on the underside, the two little like they go up, and the lower part of the like mandible manipulates, as this like metal creature smiles at you, and he says, "Hello, I'm Riker. Are you who we're here to pick up?"
I think so.
I look at Aora like, is this normal?
Aora says like, she kind of steps forward. She says, "Hello, Riker." Was she French? She was French. She says, "Hello, Riker," and she runs up and she like puts out her arms, and he opens his arms and he gives her like a big hug, and he sort of like picks her up off the ground a little bit, and he sets her down and he says, "I'm so happy to hear that you're all right, and you have all these new friends with you." He says, "Like I said, I'm Riker. I'm part of the Bookkeepers. We're here to take you to Terra Libra."
Okay. Guess we go.
The orcs are with us. Everyone who wanted to come that
Yeah.
was with us.
Yep.
Oh, we gotta leave the drow guy with the Naporians.
Yeah, we left them
Oh, yeah,
dragged.
We leave him with the
Mercenary.
we leave
With
him
my
with
dad.
the drow
My dad
so
can
that
handle
they
it.
can.
He can handle that.
Yeah.
He's,
I will
yeah.
rehabilitate him.
Thank you, Father. Faja.
One question.
Mm.
Riker,
Yes,
can you do me a favor?
sure.
Can you sit in this chair?
And he looks at the chair and he says, "Unfortunately, the articulation in my knee and hip joints doesn't work like most normal organic beings, so I do have to sit this way." And he turns it around, and he goes and he gets into the chair and he goes like, and like steps over the side of it and sits down.
Oh my god, I both love and hate you, Russell.
I have no further questions. I trust this thing with all
I can't believe you just did that.
every fiber of my being.
I can't believe you just did that.
So as you walk up, you guys get closer as you begin to make your way for the portal. You do see that like on his like chest plate, you see the letters engraved. They're not in like common script that you recognize, but they are like vaguely in the shape of common script in ways that look sort of like the letters R1-KR. And you walk past him and he like gestures towards the portal, almost like he's sort of like a doorman, like right this way. And he says, "After you. Remember, don't touch the side of the portal."
He says that I like kind of like surround Thixus a little. Like, just don't touch the sides.
He says, so as you guys all like gotta gather up, he like leads you through and he says, "Hold on, it's gonna be a wild ride, and away we go." And then like you guys just step through the portal and it's like nothing happens and you're just like in the other place. And he goes, "Just kidding, it's really normal." But you look around, and as you all step through, you are in like a massive grand hall, or like hung with all of these tapestries of the Ordinum Librae. And once the last of you and the last of the orcs are through, the portal closes. And on the like the opposite side of you, what would have been like Naporia a second ago is now just like the back half of the hall. An individual sort of like dusts off their hands, and you see this person is a half elf. They are wearing like well-tailored black robes with gold trim. They have like perfectly coiffed hair, and he looks at you and he kind of grins and he says, "I've been expecting you." He says, "My name is Torinidri. Welcome to Terra Libra. We have a lot to do." And that is the end of tonight's session.
And so is mine. She's like, "Why is everyone so like pleasant?" Ew.
Okay, so
We made it.
It was a crab?
It's a fucking crab,
dude,
Matt.
I've been.
Oh, fuck.
Do you understand
I knew it too.
how how long I have been sitting on crabotage?
It's been a while because he
It's
told me
been-
about it like months
It's
ago.
been like a full year to make the pun crabotage.
My God.
Also, every time it came up in chat, I was like, I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I don't want to tell anybody. I did sneakily use crab gifts exclusively.
I saw a lot of the crab gifts. All right. Well, anyway, as we wrap up tonight's session, I want to thank you guys for a very successful book 2 to the campaign, but book 1 for your party as we embark on the next leg of the campaign. Thank you to all of our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Be sure to keep a lookout for those special sessions that we have coming up this week. Friday, May 13th is Alien Destroyer of Worlds. Saturday, May 14th at 9 a.m. is Power Rangers Jurassic Force. And then Saturday, May 14th at 5 p.m. is the new episode of Eberron. So stay tuned for all of those things coming up this week. The final episode of the Fool's Errants leg of this journey, the end of their book 2, will be next Tuesday right here. And then the following week is going to be confirmed is going to be a very special crossover episode where both of these groups are going to meet one another. So thank you, as always, for joining us. We appreciate you guys coming out and hanging out. Yes, Eastern time in chat for everybody for all of those proficiency bonus streams and everything else. We'll join you next week for the Fool's Errant. And there it is. I had to find my button to end the stream to get it ready. But yes, as always, thank you for joining us, and we will see you next Tuesday.